Okay, this one is organization of information. So I've grouped the questions, I've grouped the whole syllabus. First, thesaurus. It's reoccurring. Discuss the guidelines for constructing thesaurus. This is a recurring question in most of the exams in the last 3 years. Uniquely related questions. Identify the guide to construction of a thesaurus, to constructing a thesaurus. Here we have two questions. Information organization itself. Define the concept of information organization. Reoccurring. Discuss the need for information organization. Reoccurring. Identify and discuss three activities in information organization. Reoccurring. Uniquely related question. Discuss and clearly explain the relationship of each activity to any of the retrieval systems. So we have group three abstracts. So what are the guidelines for writing an abstract? Here we have reoccurring, explain the component of an informative abstract. Reoccurring again, explain the goals of an abstract. They were grouped into five. Non-reoccurring, uniquely related question apart from completeness and concise representation of information resources. What other things does abstract serve? This is another question too. We have four indexing. What are the three main theories of indexing? Discuss them and explain them. Uniquely related question. What are the basic tools for constructing a thesaurus? Here again, uh, uniquely related question. Explain the type of indexing system in which coordination of terms is done and at the point of searching. And they will go down to under 5 indexer. Usually asks what are the qualities of a good indexer, differentiate between index and abstract. Here, group 6, we have archival and retrieval tools. We have what are the instruments used for retrieving archival materials. This group question reflects the core topics to be tested in this course that are often tested in this course from the analysis of the examination questions. So for organization of information, we start group one thesaurus. Discuss the guideline of constructing a thesaurus. First, detailed answer here we say a thesaurus is a tool used to organize information by providing a controlled vocabulary for indexing and retrieving content. Constructing a thesaurus involves several things. First, we talked about a thesaurus being a tool used to organize information by providing controlled vocabulary for indexing and retrieving of content. So, various ways determining the scope, define the subject area and the domain of the thesaurus. For example, a thesaurus for medical science will focus on terms like anatomy, physiology, and pharmacology. Uh, Identify terms, collect terms from various sources such as textbook, journals, and expert interviews. So, example, in a library science thesaurus, such terms as classification, cataloging, and indexing are essential. 3. Organize the term hierarchically using hierarchy. Establish broader terms as the BT, narrower terms, and related terms. Example, in a legal thesaurus, a broader term is law, a narrower term is criminal law, and the related term is to respondents. So define the relationship. So you establish semantic relationships such as synonyms, antonyms, and homonyms. So example, car and automobile are synonyms. Create entry vocabulary. Include alternative terms or phrases that might be used by users. Example, in an agricultural task force, both maize and corn. Include both maize and corn. Uh, test the test and validate. Test the task force with real users to ensure usability and accuracy. Example, a task force for digital library might be tested with researchers to ensure terms align with their queries. So that's all for task force. First, determine the scope, identify the term, organize them hierarchically using broad, narrow terms or relative terms, define the relationship. 4, 5, enter, create entry vocabulary, and 6, text and validate. Group 2, we have information organization. Define the concept information organization. Information organization refers to systematic arrangement, categorization, indexing of information to facilitate its retrieval and use. So the basic aim here is that information retrieval is organization is a systematic way of arrangement, categorization, and indexing of information to facilitate its retrieval and use. So before information is retrieved and used, it must be organized. So that's why information organization is a systematic arrangement, categorization, indexing of information to facilitate its retrieval and use. Importance enhances access to information, reduces redundancy, and facilitates knowledge sharing. So, example, a library classified books using Dewey Decimal System, where books on technology are grouped under 600. So move to the next question, which is always reoccurring. Uh, Identify and discuss three activities in information organization. First is classification. Look at it here in the definition. Information organization refers to the systematic arrangement. So there must be that arrangement. There must be that categorization, indexing, which will help facilitate removal, retrieval, and use. So first is here we see classification, which is categorization, grouping similar items together based on shared characteristics. Example, classifying book into fiction and non-fiction because fictions share the same characteristics as fiction and non-fiction books share the same characteristics as non-fiction book before you begin to index and do other things. Indexing, assigning keywords and descriptors to information resources. An article on climate change may be indexed with the term global warming, greenhouse gases, or environmental policy. That's for indexing. Cataloging, creating detailed record of each item, including author, title, and subject. Author, title, and subject. A library catalog, for example, might and a library catalog entry, for example, might list the books Great Gypsy by F. Scott Fitzgerald under American literature. So that is, they have cataloged it there under American literature. So these are discuss the three activities in information organization. If I discuss three activities: classification, indexing, and cataloging. So let's see. Abstract. What are the guidelines of writing an abstract under Group 3? An abstract is a concise summary of a document that highlights its key points. An abstract is a concise summary of a document that highlights its key points. Guidelines for writing effective abstract. What are the guidelines? Uh, Keep it concise. Limit the abstract to 150 to 250 words. Example, a research abstract on climate change might state the study evaluates the effects of carbon emission on global temperature trends. Focus. Focus on key points. Summarize the objective, method, result, and conclusion. Focus on key points. Keep it concise. Uh, 2. Focus on key points. 3. Use clear languages. For focus on key points, the example is the study analyzed the data of 50 countries to determine the impact of renewable policies. So keep it simple. This study has analyzed 50 countries, and that is the objective of the study. Uh, so let's look at it here. 3. Use clear languages. Use clear language. Avoid jargon and complex terms. Instead, use photosynthetic is example. Instead of using photosynthetic rate, use plant growth rate. Okay, so avoid reference and quotation. Do not include citations and direct quotes in your abstract. Tailor to audience. Ensure the abstract align to the target readership. Example, a technical audience may need more detailed findings. Recurring question. Explain the components of an informative abstract. An informative abstract must have objective, states the purpose of study. 2. Method, summarize the methodology used. 3. Results, highlights the main findings. 4. The conclusion, states the implication of the finding. These are the components of an informative abstract. Every abstract usually have objective, your methods, the result, and your conclusion. Okay. Results highlights your finding. Conclusion states the implication of your findings. And the summary is the methodology used. A survey of 1,000 patients was conducted over 6 months. So a survey method was used. So this is it, and we're going to 4. Indexing. What are the 3 main theories of indexing? Discuss them and explain them. The first is subjective approach, focuses on subjective interpretation of indexers. Indexers may categorize solar energy both under renewable and environmental technology. That's the subjectivity. Objective in approach is talking about uh, relies on objective criteria such as frequency of term, indexing terms based on their occurrence in the text. Facet theory uses multiple aspects to organize information. Example, in a library, books on physics might have facet like subject like physics, author Einstein, year 1905. So unique related question here. We here don't forget to read up this detailed subject approach, object approach, and facet theory. So we have unique, uniquely related question doesn't really appear all the time, but it's unique. And explain the type of indexing system in which coordination of terms is done at the point of searching. This refers to post-coordinate index system. These terms are indexed individually and relationships are formed during retrieval. Example, a user searching for renewable energy and policy combines the term during search process. Indexer Group 5. Recurring question. What are the qualities of a good indexer? Attention to detail, ensure accuracy and consistency, correctly identify synonyms like car and automobiles, for example. Subject number 2, subject knowledge. Have expertise, have knowledge of the field, and be a subject matter expert. Have expertise in the relevant field, should be a subject matter expert. A medical indexer should understand the term cardiology and oscology. 3. Analytic skill. A good indexer should have analytic skill ability to identify relationship between terms like global warming and climate change. These are 3. You can add one or two more. But these 3 will be good if you can explain them properly. Archival and retrieval tools. What are the instruments used for archival and for retrievals of archival materials? Here, catalogs. A list of organized archival materials. A library catalogs list manuscript title by author and subject, for example. Indexes. So provide specific reference to context. Index might direct users to specific pages in historical data. Finding it, these help in retrievals, a guide to locate archival materials, digital repositories, online database that store digitalized archival materials such as UNESCO World Digital Library. So that will be it for this one, and later uh, I'll be taking any other one that comes up. But this should do. You learn this in detail, and this should do. You learn this in details. This should do. All right. Thank you.